welcome to the 123rd episode of Tuesdays with Tobe. My name is Tobe Frierson, and as I do each week, I am thrilled to say welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the studio. I'm in and out of the studio, right? I'm not in here a whole lot, but I'm very, very glad to be able to bring you all another message today. And today's topic, the topic is going to be on goodness. And so hopefully that word resonates with you right away. Hopefully something comes to mind, an action, an encounter that you recently had, something you're trying to do better at. But that's where we're gonna go with today's message. But as we do each week, I want you all to look behind me and we're gonna say our family rules together. Here we go, ready, read. During Tuesdays with Tobe, we'll use kind words. Do your best. Always be honest. Forgive and forget. Be happy, count your blessings, laugh at yourself. Stay positive and love one another. I am really excited actually to bring this topic to you all today around goodness. Honestly, it's one of these reflective messages where we're about to be the halfway mark of 2023. And I kind of track things month by month. I certainly, by the time you get to a 6-month phase of a year, I'm kind of looking back and I'm trying to track and figure out the things that have happened to me and also the things that I have done and demonstrated. And I'll look for certain things in my actions and also things that I'm receiving. And I was in a conversation just recently with a dear friend, and we were just talking about being good for the sake of being good, right? We're talking about goodness and how this world is a very interesting place right now. We are coming up on a presidential election. We know how our country gets around politics and around candidates and around parties and things of that nature. We also have been inundated with social media messages recently and with gun violence in our country and with all the things where a word like goodness just really does not have a place. It absolutely does not. Everybody seems to be in a corner right now on the side of the room. We all have our angles, we have our perspectives, we have our experiences. And then you come to the table with something like goodness and people might side eye you like, what are you even talking about? So today we're going to pause. We're going to think about what it truly means to experience someone's goodness and what it means to also demonstrate and give goodness as well. So first things first, I want you all to really think about when's the last time that you feel like you exhibited what you would consider goodness? Or when's the last time that you feel like you've been on the receiving end of someone's goodness? And so for me, my personal definition of goodness is being able to treat people in a consistent way where they feel honored, where they feel respected, where they feel seen, where they feel heard, where they truly matter. And you can literally do this with a stranger. We can do this in our, as we see passerbyers, people every day, someone at the supermarket, someone at the gas station, a coworker that we may or may not so get along with. We can demonstrate goodness to them with those little things that I just named. Are we taking time to consider someone else's perspective, to actually give them space, to give them the floor? A lot of times when either there's debate going on or we're having conversations, we're kind of quick to hear something that does not resonate with our belief system. It may not even resonate with the truth. It could be dead wrong. But in that moment, is every single moment a time for correction? If I hear something that does not jive with how I was raised or the way in which I do something, does that deserve a comment? Or could we literally in that moment exhibit goodness by just listening and nodding and learning? And maybe if there's an opportunity later on to revisit said subject matter or whatever, maybe at that point we can introduce another perspective. But I think there's so many small ways in which we could exhibit goodness, in which we can learn how to honor others and learn how to give them wherever they are in that moment. This actually takes me back to an experience I recently had in an establishment. I went in for a specific service and I was on these people's website before I showed up to get the service. And so I already knew a little bit about how the organization ran and the service that I was asking them to provide for me. I knew a little bit about it. And the person that I encountered at the counter, oh my goodness. One, she told me that I was in the wrong location. There was a closer location to where I lived. And so they can do this service better than we can. And I'm like, but I'm here and I have an appointment here. And we went back and forth a little bit. And so I just kind of conceded. I was like, well, thank you so much. I said, I'm going to sit in the waiting room. I was there with my dear cousin. And so I was like, I'm going to wait on her and I'll just sit in your waiting room. And we kind of ended the discussion. And again, I did not raise my voice with her. I did not try to convince her that I needed to be provided that service or anything else. I just kind of sat back and I was like, this is interesting. Literally 15 minutes later, out of the goodness of her heart, I suppose, maybe she stewed over our interaction. Maybe she realized that she came across a little abrasive, certainly not great customer service at all. This woman approached me in the waiting area and she had a whole conversation with me. Now, she did fall short of looking me in the eye, but she definitely in that moment demonstrated, you know what? I kind of messed up in this previous conversation. Let me come back in and try to fix this. She displayed goodness towards me. She validated the things that I was asking her, the things that I said. She told me about available appointments the very next day. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? I said, Tobe, had you acted up with her at that counter? Had you gotten out of character, or had you given her the type of energy or attitude that she was giving you? Would she have come back? Would she have come back and tried to right her wrong? So that's just kind of one example of goodness that I would kind of put out there. I definitely think that she exhibited goodness towards me because she did not have to come back and clean up the previous conversation. I wasn't going to get online and write a review. And like I said, I just conceded. That kind of sort of is who I am. I'm not really going to go back and forth with you too much. Certainly not in public, and this was a public place. You all stop thinking that people have to deserve what we do for them, or how we speak to them, or how we care for them, or how we show up in spaces with them. They don't. And in the grand scheme of things, when we think about deserving and treatment, what do we really deserve, right? Have you ever stopped to think about all the things that you get that come towards you every day that you're undeserving of or that you did not earn? And so as we kind of wrap up this message today, that's what I want you all to do. That is exactly what I want you all to do, is to think about those things. It's Tuesday right now. And so by Friday, you all should have a number of examples of goodness that has come towards you. And then goodness, since you're going to define this for yourself, that you have actually demonstrated and you're super proud of, because I gave you a little nudge with this message and you were intentionally thinking about it. You were looking for it. You were listening for the good things, and you were not waiting for those around you to deserve any of it, to freely give it. So why don't we learn now our personal definitions of goodness? Why don't we learn now those tangible things that we feel like we can do to exhibit goodness in the spaces in which we get to occupy? And let's be super intentional about calling things out that aren't so good too, right? And making sure that just like that lady came back and tried to right her wrong, that we're willing to come back and right our wrongs every time we have an opportunity. I hope you all enjoyed this message. Like I said, I miss being in the studio. I miss being able to give these little short talks. So I'm grateful for today. And I hope you all like, share, and subscribe. And I definitely hope you all figure out how to tap into some goodness. Take care, everybody. I'll see you back in the next one.